G'day guys, Disney Dave coming at you once again from Down Under with another Blu-ray review and unboxing. 3D is making a comeback on home media in the US. I don't know what is going on, but Disney seemed to be very adamant for a little while there about not releasing 3D versions of their movies on home media for, it was a couple of years there, where they just didn't release any of their movies in 3D on Blu-ray. This was animated titles, live action titles, just did not get a 3D Blu-ray release. For who knows what reason, maybe Disney had thought that 3D was dead, people weren't buying it, but then after the outcry of the fans, they realized, well, maybe there is a market for 3D. I don't know. I do not know, but it has been clear over this last year that Disney are back in the 3D game because they have released a small handful of their movies in the format on Blu-ray. The latest release, which has actually surprisingly got the 3D treatment on Blu-ray in America, is The Jungle Book. Now, this is one particular title that really does need to be seen in 3D because of the technology used in this movie with motion performance. Basically, the entire movie is computer generated except for the kid. That's the animals, that's the locations, everything. This is basically an animated movie with a live action kid put inside it, masquerading as a live action movie. That's right. But the 3D element of this movie really is so crucial to the entire experience of the film. So I am really happy that my friends out there over in America do get to experience this movie in 3D in the comfort of their own home. So we're going to do a quick unboxing of this set. I'm also going to compare it to the previously released 3D edition from the UK. I jumped the gun a little bit, yeah, and I bought the 3D from the UK. I knew that the 3D was coming from the US, but I didn't think I'd double dip, but special features got the best of me. That's right, there was a few new special features on this release, and there is on this release that I picked up a couple of months ago, so that was enough for me to double dip on it. So of course we're going to take a look mostly at this one, but we will compare it to the UK release, just in case you're in two minds about which one you want to get, or maybe you're thinking about upgrading from this one to this one. Hopefully we can answer a few questions. Right! I'm trying not to talk too much in my videos anymore, so we're going to get straight into the unboxing of this guy right here. Okay, so here we have the American release of The Jungle Book in 3D. Of course, Disney brought out the 2D edition a couple of months ago, and now they are trying to get you to double dip on the 3D edition by bringing out a few months later. Seems to be a new marketing strategy that they have, because they did the exact same thing with The Force Awakens Blu-ray. They released the 2D back in March or April, and they've only just recently released the 3D. So look, it's a little bit of a cheeky marketing strategy, but I think they can get away with it, because when they first announced the 2D edition and they put out their press release, they do put a little note in there saying 3D edition coming later in the year. So when I went out and I purchased the 3D edition from the UK, I was full aware that there was going to be a version coming from the United States, because I stupidly assumed that the US edition would be pretty much exactly the same as this, and I was just impatient. I really wanted it really quickly. But as it turned out, the American edition, as the sticker says on the front, has more bonus features. Now, stickers annoy me on these things, you probably know. I like to take them off the slips and just place them on the actual cover there. Of course, we have the 3D cover. It's a lenticular cover like most of the 3D covers. It's actually interesting though, because just before Disney started to phase out the 3D Blu-ray in America, they stopped doing the lenticular covers for the 3D releases. But now the 3D releases are back, the lenticular cover's back as well. So this whole thing has just been so weird. I really hope that the 3D is here to stay for North America. If we flip to the back here, we've got a really nice little layout here. Jaw-dropping. This movie really is jaw-dropping. This movie is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love it. The bonus features which are exclusive to this edition are the bare necessities from The Jungle Book to the Bayou. See Bill Murray and jazz greats Dr. John and Kermit Ruffins perform the bare necessities. We've also got the return of a legend. Director Jon Favreau and renowned composer Richard Sherman collaborate on a new version of the classic song I Want to Be Like You. The Jungle Effect. Visual effects magic is revealed in this mesmerizing evolution of key moments from the movie. Developing Car. Watch an early animation of the scene where Mowgli meets Kaa. The Jungle Book around the world. Join the global celebration as Mowgli and Baloo sing the bare necessities. Once again, exclusive to the set. So there's actually quite a few featurettes on there which are exclusive to this set, which you won't find on the UK 3D edition or the original 2D edition of this from America. Now apparently the special features are only pretty short, but it was enough for me to make a double dip because I'm a little bit OCD about my collection and I'm a massive completist. And to to be honest, they sound really interesting to me, so I was happy enough to do a double dip on this set. Of course, it also comes with the classic features which are featured on the previously released versions of this movie: The Jungle Book Reimagined, I Am Mowgli, King Louis's Temple Layer by Layer, and audio commentary with director Jon Favreau. So the original release really was bare bones. This probably should have been the release that came out first, but once again, Disney are trying to get you to do the double dip, and in this case, it's worked, hasn't it? Okay, let's do a quick comparison between the two covers. Now, this is the artwork that was used on the 2D edition of the American version of The Jungle Book. It's on the 3D of the UK. The US one had like this really nice sort of shiny effect to it. This one is more matte, but it actually has all this embossing, which I think is really cool. I'm kind of considering actually keeping this because I like having the two different variants of artwork, but I'm still deciding. Maybe I will sell it off at some point. I'm not too sure just yet. The artwork used on both back covers is fairly similar. You've got the same 4 clip arts here. This is just a little bit different. The UK sleeves tend to be a little bit more plain than the US ones, or you could say maybe it's just a little bit less cluttered. This whole thing down here is UK specific to Disney releases. It's a little bit ugly to me. I do prefer the layout of the US releases. And here are the two spines on the two releases, just in case you wanted to have a look at how they'll stack up on the shelves. The interesting thing is the US release actually makes a big deal about this being the 3D version of the movie. When Disney actually first started releasing 3D editions, they had the 3D on the spine and on the cover, and then they stopped doing that after a while, after the 3D novelty sort of wore out. But now that 3D seems to be a novelty for Disney again, we've got the 3D splashed on the spine and on the cover here. Okay, so we're going to take this one out of the slipcover now. This is our case right here. Pretty much same artwork right there. Back cover's pretty much exactly the same as well. Now, the thing that really annoyed me when I first opened this was that the 3D disc jumped out at me. You know why? Because Disney, for some bizarre reason, have decided to stack the discs. They have started stacking discs lately for some reason. The recent release of Daredevil Season 1 on Blu-ray also came with stacked discs. I don't know what they're doing, but the actual 2 Blu-ray discs were on this side when I got the set, and the DVD was over here. And because they're stacked, the 3D just jumped out at me. It wasn't placed in there properly. Now, because of that, I've actually rearranged the ordering of these discs because I want the 3D disc, above all, to be really safe. I want that to be stuck in there. I don't want that jumping out at me again. But I digress. Let's take a look at the discs. Of course, the Jungle Book in 3D on the 3D disc. And then we have just the plain old Jungle Book here on the 2D disc. Then under the 2D disc, we of course have the DVD copy of the movie. As far as the artwork goes, very plain. Disney have been doing this for about 5 or 6 years now. Blue disc, white artwork. They just don't put any effort into this kind of stuff anymore. Of course, we get a couple of little pamphlets here. I'm going to cover up my codes. This is the digital movie copy code that you get. And again, what's weird about this is that they've gone back to this original just single pamphlet thing. Most of the other films they released this year have been in like a little plastic bag, and you like take the thing out of the plastic bag and you pull this tab and you reveal your code. So it's a little bit more secretive, but for some reason with this release they've gone back to the pamphlet. We also have a little pamphlet for Disney Movies Anywhere, so that you can stream some of the bonus features that you have physically on Blu-ray on an iPad or your laptop or whatever. That's kind of useless, to be honest. And then of course you get the obligatory join the DMC. Sadly, because I am international, I cannot join this club, so if anyone wants to pinch that promo code, first in, best dressed. I should also mention that with the UK version, this will also apply for the Australian version of this. You get a 3D disc and you get a 2D Blu-ray disc, but no DVD. But you do get some really nice artwork on the disc. I don't know why they don't do this in America. So that's about all I can say about this particular release. Look, it does have many advantages over the UK version. And if you haven't picked up the UK version and you are happy to import, this is region ABC, which means it's region free. So you can be assured that this will play on any Blu-ray player that you have. But if you already have the other one and a couple of special features don't mean too much to you, then I wouldn't really bother with importing this one. However, if you don't have an edition and you are happy to import, then definitely go for this one. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. It is an absolutely beautiful movie. If you're a fan of these animation to live action adaptations they've been doing of late, this really, really is the best one they have done so far. Visually, the movie is gorgeous. I loved it. And if you're going to pick it up on Blu-ray, then you really do need to pick up the 3D edition because it's such a big part of the experience. So, once again, that was the North American release of The Jungle Book in 3D. I hope this video has helped you answer a few questions. You had a decent look inside. You had a decent look at this one as well. Bonus! This guy's available right now in the United States. Of course, if you're international like me and those extra couple of featurettes sound enticing to you, you can always import this. I personally imported it from Amazon, but there's various websites out there where you can import these from. So just do a little research and find out what's the best for you. Of course, this guy's been out for quite a few months. This is probably the cheaper option of the two. However, you are not guaranteed to get the slipcover because the slipcovers don't really hang around on these things for all that long. This one, however, if you're watching this video brand new, then you do have a very good chance at getting the slipcover, but don't leave it too long if you want the real lenticular goodness. Once again, thank you for joining me on another video here. If you have liked what you've seen, please, after the jump, hit subscribe. Blu-ray unboxings galore on this channel. Everything from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars. I put in a lot of effort. I wore my Jungle Book t-shirt and everything. That is commitment. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really do hope I see you in the future. But until then, take care, and I hope you have a magical day.